What's going on, Susan?
What's up?
Come on. So, yeah, spirituality. It's a thing.
It is a thing. Now, would you consider yourself a spiritual person?
I would. I would consider myself a spiritual person. My connection, I think, to me, it's like oneness with the earth, the planet, like here and
Right.
now.
Yeah.
That's my jam. That's my spirituality. So, I feel like I was very connected to nature and stuff as a child. Like I was exposed to many things in terms of just like the earth, and I feel like we come from it and we go back to it. And so I'm very much rooted in that. And any other questions I have in spiritual nature, by spiritual nature or whatever, is like, like what else is possible, what's out there, whatever. I don't have any firm beliefs. I don't believe in any one thing because I don't know. I just don't know.
Like, would you say that there are like these unseen forces?
I haven't seen them.
But like, do you think that there is more going on than meets the eye? Like that there's like something else going on?
Sometimes I get an itch on my thigh and it's always in the same spot.
Okay.
I'm like, what's up with that?
Right. Like I would say personally, like I do feel like there's some kind of like magic swirling around.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like just how, I don't know, when something doesn't work out, later on you're like, it's a good thing that didn't work out.
Okay.
You know, because then it kind of redirected me to do something else or go somewhere, else.
So that's an outside force or some sort of
some energetic
what's its origin
force
to you?
I just call it the universe.
Okay,
like the magic of the universe.
I do believe there's a universe.
Like
And I
I'm
do
definitely a
believe it's
believer.
Powerful energy.
Yeah, like I really believe there's nothing random.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay.
I do. Like I almost see like we're like
everything is all predetermined.
I don't know about predetermined, but there
Okay.
is like I think there's a higher purpose at work.
Okay.
I kind of my mom taught me the analogy of like being like pieces on a chessboard. Like we kind of are moved around.
What piece are you? Are you the rook?
Queen? Queen with a K. W. Queen.
Queen.
Yes, queen.
All right.
No, but like, yeah, and there's like, just in chess or checkers even, like there's strategy. There's a little bit of like, thoughtfulness behind it. And every move is a little bit deliberate.
Okay.
I think of that as, I don't know.
I
feel like there's like...
I feel like that would put a damper on all my good times. I'm like, you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, no.
And anything could happen and anything's possible.
Yes.
But
I believe that
there would be
too.
that extra thing that it's like, and then it's supposed to. It's like already determined. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't have any say in this?
You definitely have free will. But I'm also saying that, what happens or what doesn't happen, I think it does serve our higher good. Mm-hmm. And by higher good, it's like, we come down here to experience certain things for the evolution of our soul. Anyway, that's
I just
that's
like
spirituality
nature.
in
I'm
one
really
sentence.
down with the world and the energy
you like
and the people and the connectedness. And I'm firmly rooted in that, and everything else is a big old question to me.
Yeah, and I'm rooted in the belief that we are spirits having a human experience.
We are spirits in the material world. We are spirits. Who sang that?
Well, that was
I probably shouldn't have done
a
that.
little bit of Madonna, material world.
Oh.
Okay.
No, that's Material World by Madonna.
Yeah,
I think it was the Police that
Oh,
did.
okay. Oh,
or someone like that.
That's a little bit of yacht rock there.
Yeah, that's yacht rock. We were listening to that last night when we were
listening.
hanging out.
I know, we were being social last
we
night.
were with a very good friend of ours.
Oh, yes.
Who we happen to have on the podcast today.
Great segue, Fanson.
Oh, wow. It was so
amazing.
so easy.
Listen.
What a fun night.
Wow.
And
Seamless.
she's amazing.
Yep.
What's her jam?
We love her. So we are talking all things spiritual.
And you're Susan Stewart.
And you're Kelly Fanson.
And we're still a hot mess.
You're the hotter mess for sure.
Were we
today.
supposed to do that just there? It's there in case we needed it. It was really weird. Like, where does that go if it doesn't go there?
No, that's true. I think now
I'm
I'm thinking about it. And no, I think we were supposed to introduce Kelly at the end of that.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
messy.
well, you know what?
It's messy today.
We're just going to roll right into it.
You make a mess.
Welcome to Still a Hot Mess, where we ask the question, is self-help helping? Every episode we discuss, debate, and often diss an aspect of the self-improvement movement.
Drawing from our own experiences and talking with personal growth experts, we want to know, is it all too much? Has it gone too far? Is it making us even more neurotic? Is this self-help or self-help?
You make a mess of me.
So tell me Kelly's jam, because you've known Kelly longer than I have, and we need to introduce her formally, and we'll bring her in here. But can you just tell everybody who she is?
Well, yeah. So, yeah, we are talking all things spiritual today, and we are very fortunate to have psychic medium sensation and a buddy of ours, Kelly Elson, with us today in the studio. Let's give a warm welcome to Kelly Elson.
Oh, I'm here. I'm in the studio now.
Hi.
You're in the studio. I mean,
I can talk
She just
now.
all of a sudden
I mean,
there she was.
I teleported in.
You've been observing the hot mess now for several minutes, but yeah, you're in the fold. Welcome to the messiness.
Thank you.
Hey, lady.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Yes,
Yep.
it's so
Happy to
exciting
be
that
here.
you're here
It's very exciting.
because, like, this topic of spirituality
Yeah.
is a big one, and it's so cool that you, being a psychic medium, are here to kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah,
chat
like
about
help
it
us
with
out because
Oh, yeah.
I sort of like think I have an idea of what spirituality is, but I think it's so individual.
It's the truth. Yeah. It means something different.
Yeah. I mean, that
Yeah.
seems to have been the sense I've gleaned from it over the years, because I remember it was like religion, and then all of a sudden it was like spirituality.
Yeah. And spirituality is just our joy.
Yeah,
It's just what brings us joy.
Ah.
See, it's so simple.
So running for me is
Well-
spirituality. For other people, it's a living hell.
Huh. And is
Right?
that because you believe that we're all here to experience joy
Well, to
in human form?
experience joy, yeah. Joy and spirituality, I think, are really kind of the same thing. Now, there are things that bring joy to the physical, right? There are things that bring joy to the
I could name
physical.
something.
Yes, absolutely. There's
Yeah.
lots that brings joy to the physical, and maybe even just to the physical, right? Somebody's rubbing your feet, you're getting a massage, right? We can have these things, but to me, the spirituality comes in where it starts to serve the whole being.
Oh.
Where we're like, I'm loving getting my back rubbed. I'm also loving
This
that I'm
is
having an
becoming-
energetic experience.
It's becoming a spiritual experience.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
no, I've heard people go, God, that was downright spiritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they loved it so much, or it was so thrilling.
I've never used that term. I'm gonna start using it.
Well, often in the arts, if you ever been listening to someone sing or watching something in a room full of
Yes.
people and you get tingles up your back,
Yep.
there you go.
There you go.
There's spirituality.
Well, that's great. Good
Wow.
podcast today.
yeah, well, we nailed it.
We're done.
It's joy.
Yeah.
It's joy, everybody.
That's just
Joy.
joy.
Bye.
But don't look for joy too hard because that'll steal your joy.
Yes, you said that on
Life's
social media
complicated.
recently. I loved that. Did you see that, Fanson, on
I
a
didn't.
post?
No.
I thought that was, yeah.
It's a simple and true.
Yeah.
So simple. Yeah, everything we seek, we're like, I don't have this yet. So I'm going to go looking for it. And usually it's right under our nose on some level already. We just haven't looked.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Wow.
That's part of the spiritual experience.
It is actually. Yeah. And it's not even finding it, it's just realizing it.
Could you help me find my wallet and my glasses?
Well,
Because
I'll
I've
do-
lost both in the last 12 hours.
Yeah, I'll have to get home, get my pendulum out for that, and maybe a little map of Queen Street.
Yeah. I've walked that block where we walked last night, and I've called all the places, and it's vanished.
Yeah,
And this goes back to me feeling like I play tricks on myself.
right.
Like I lose stuff, so I have to go find it, or I have to like recall and do little brain exercises.
And sometimes we can chalk that up to our past self just tucking it away for our future self, but I don't know that's the case this time.
I don't feel like that's it.
I think it might have something to do with mescal.
But that doesn't explain the wallet.
No,
earlier in
because
the day.
you, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, how do you think spirituality helps you in your life, or just like, how is it a helper for us?
And so what I can describe is what I experience with, so I do the mediumship full time.
Yeah.
Forensic mediumship on the side. So I work with the police and work with missing people. And so all I can do is answer why I think most people come to see me. And there's a myth that people believe in spirit or believe in a higher energy, or let's just get the consciousness thing out of the way. We talk about, is there a higher?
Let's.
You're not sitting there digesting that apple of your own accord, right? Our bodies know things. This
Susan was just
energy-
eating an apple.
Yes,
Yes.
she was.
Good
so
footnote.
everything that's going on is going on outside of our conscious input. So there's this knowing in the universe. Our bodies know what to do. Everything just kind of knows what to do. And I think it's just at the very least saying, I know that that's there. And I trust in that. And I don't always need the memo to understand why or what is going on. And very seldom do we have the memo. So anyway, when people come in to see me, I don't tell them anything that maybe their families haven't been telling them for years, or bring them any revolutionary ideas or concepts or understandings. They're there because they have a level of belief already. What impacts them is that I seem to know details about them that they didn't tell me. I know things that only their loved ones on the other side would know. And that immediately connects them or says to them, well, there's two realities here, right? There's something up there that's watching over me and knows that I'm here.
Because this would not be possible for
Or
this stranger, this woman, to know these things about me.
Or she's the best mentalist on the planet. And I would take that as a good compliment too.
That'd be all right too. Yeah.
Now, what is the difference between mentalist and
a mentalist is someone who would observe like how someone sits, and kind of like I'm a clinical hypnotherapist too. So if I combine some of that, reading people's behaviors, body language, things that aren't obvious to everyone. So a mentalist is reading the physical realm, and
Sort of like how Sherlock Holmes solves a case.
for sure.
Just breaks it all
Yeah,
down. And
so-
Okay.
He sees the details that other people don't see.
Yeah. So what I
Right.
have to do when someone comes in is show that I can know their mother's name without saying it's because you're wearing a blue shirt. Right? I have to
Right.
disconnect that and somehow know stuff beyond a mathematical probability too. You know, there's a thing called the Barnum effect, wherein if I look at anyone and say, "Do you have a John?" they're going to say yes.
odds
Yeah.
are?
So what are the
Why is it called the
odds?
Barnum effect?
Because of P.T. Barnum.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
and
he was the greatest salesman.
He was, but there was also a spiritualist uprising where in the 20s, like early in the century, where there was table wrapping and ectoplasmic goo and all that stuff. And me being somewhat of a skeptic myself, I would have been the first one there, being like, "No, ghosts aren't like that. They don't spew green stuff at you."
Okay.
You know. So P.T. Barnum was not against, but he looked to kind of clarify some of these collective, general kind of things. So what I look for as a psychic to create that spiritual experience for people, what they're seeking, is for me to not only say, "Hey," right, is there a John? For me to say, "Oh, your dad, John, is in the room. He died in December. He had a triple bypass, and he sees that you got married last week." That's the kind of stuff I bring to it. And so it moves beyond that capacity for having a logical reason, and that develops trust in them that there is a higher connection.
Explain that process as it works for you.
Oh, it's
so there you
fascinating.
are, and you're looking at that person. What happens to you?
It's kind of like imagine downloading. So I receive information through all of my 5 senses. I might feel like I smell something, hear something, taste something, see something, or I'll get even a texture of something. But mostly it's downloads in my brain. So I want you to imagine a television on, and we're flipping through the channels. And we're looking, because spirit, this energy, when you think of the universe, I'm going to give everyone right now a picture of how to think of that universe as a real thing. Think of the World Wide Web.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just think of all of our communicate. Think of this analogy for God, where we have this all-knowing, omnipotent, invisible being that is always there, whether we have a receiver on or not, ever-present, omnipresent. Everywhere you go, all in the same place, able to be in many places at a time, and just waiting for an antenna to go up. So to me, the spirituality, why they come to is tragedy. Tragedy leads us to understand and dig for coping mechanisms. And the big myth about mediums is that people come to me because they can't accept death. And I would disagree that the people in front of me who have lost children in house fires are there because they can't accept that their loved ones are gone. They're there because since their loved one died, they've been finding dimes every day. Or
Right.
feathers.
They can sense-
Or waking up at 3:33 every morning. These patterns start, and they just know.
Right.
And that is their pursuit of spirituality. So for me, really, whether it's just my way of coping, in every circumstance, crisis or trauma or positive or joyous, I know there's value. People say everything for a reason. I'm not big on that one.
Okay.
But we can find reason in everything.
Yes, I agree with that.
So, so I see these amazing heroes every day who come in there that have lost 3 children in their life, and they still walk in there smiling. And that's the spirituality, because what they had to dig for to get through that, these are the people that should be the most bitter on the planet, and they're just not.
So you would say that they're coming to you with a sense of, I don't know, hope, or there's lightness, because they strongly believe that the loved ones, they're not gone. Like, death is not an ending, as you've described to me before.
It's a quantum certainty. We're made of
we
stardust
change
from the Big Bang. Like, the universe is a shapeshifter.
Yeah, you said to me
what does
many
that
times
mean?
that
What does
we
that
just
mean that it's a
change frequency.
shapeshifter?
Sorry.
So we,
I don't know what that
when
means.
they developed, and I'm not a physicist, I've studied energy to the degree that it supports my theories.
Right.
What I'm saying is that when they developed quantum technology, they found 2 really interesting facts about what we're made of on this atomic level. And the first is that we're mostly space. And even if the tiniest bit of carbon that's existing there in us, in these atoms, is even constantly kind of disappearing and reappearing. But here's what they found about that. It makes up everything. So we are made of the same stuff as everything that's around us, but also that we're made of stardust right now, these bodies, that it's been here since the Big Bang. So we shapeshift here throughout our lives, from the moment we're babies until the moment we grow up. We shapeshift. We were talking today. We shapeshift in a couple days when we're not eating properly.
I see. So physically, actually
and
shifting.
And
yes.
everything
shedding
is.
skin cells. all that
Everything
stuff.
is. So if we put a rock salt lamp in the middle of this table, what we have to understand is that is vibrating and moving on that quantum level.
Yeah.
Right.
So death, like I said, is like extreme weight loss. We're water and they're vapor. And some of them pass gradually, someone loses weight and they're shifting. And the minute the bulk of that intelligent energy that's running things shifts above basically about 9.5 million gigahertz, our left logical 5 sensory brain can't detect them anymore, and it experiences a withdrawal.
Oh,
So we're down here in physical
we're in
form.
withdrawal.
We do when people die. We miss them.
Right.
So the
Okay.
5 physical senses just can't detect them anymore.
Yeah.
So it experiences that form of withdrawal. That's our grieving process. And we can do that and simultaneously understand that this energy remains. And that it's in real time, just like the rest of everything else.
And so, is it your belief then anyone can speak to the other side, or this vapor that we become?
Anyone can speak. I don't know how many people can listen.
Okay,
Right.
and that's just a personality
one
type
of
versus
my-
anyone could. Realistically.
Here's my analogy with that. I did write and I do teach psychic or intuitive development. I compare it to singing. There are people that are born that can do it without ever a lesson and move people to tears. There are people that can learn about it and develop skills, and there's people that should never effing try. And that's what it is with it's not for everyone. It's not, but absolutely I'm working on a mediumship intensive course for people who want to understand even how to just experience a closer connection with people that they love that have passed. And it's a very creative process. Some people would rather see Egyptian spirit guides, right? Because what this is energy in pure form, like a cloud. And then when it starts to slow down and become more dense, it starts to take on form. So all 3 of us, the same energy is above us. But let's say there was a spirit in the room, right?
Let's just
let's just say.
Is there? Is there?
There are spirits everywhere. There are people.
How many in the room right now?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. We would at least have 3 or 4 with all of us.
Okay.
But I want you to, easily.
Okay.
Your entourage.
Remember, they're like
my posse.
satellites, right? They're like satellites. They're like that internet. So even when we're not focused, even when we don't have a phone or a receiver on, that doesn't mean they kind of go away. And they're moving in real time. So think of how many people are in the building. And think of how that's working. It's not on our radar right now.
Are you constantly distracted?
No.
So what do you do to, if that channel is always open. What do you do to
So
silence
here's
it?
myth busting number one, and why I'm not popular with a lot of psychics. If you're doing it right, it doesn't take any work at all. It shuts off at night when I'm done at work. It doesn't bother me, keep me awake at night. You guys know what keeps me awake at night. It's sleep eating, but not spirits.
Yes, she said sleep eating.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yes,
So it's not, it's funny.
another podcast
shouldn't-
episode.
It is. I should never say, judge how anyone else works. But one of the popular myths is that, oh, it's my cross to bear. I get drained here. I get drained there. I don't do protections. I don't cleanse my room in between people. And here's the big reason. All of us who work with this energy do it because it's supposed to know more than we do. Right?
Right.
Like we don't
Yeah.
work with this higher energy and then, oh, I need to tell it not to go over here because that's going to have a toxic effect.
Right. No,
So to me, doing a protection before somebody's coming in for a Reiki is ridiculous. It's like cops running from the criminals they're charged to go after.
Have you ever had an aggressive spirit or connection, or what's the best term to use
I
there?
don't really believe in evil spirits or energies.
But just even aggressive.
Aggressive? Like I've seen aggressive things in my head where they're maybe trying to show me how they were murdered.
Okay.
But have I ever felt nervous of a spirit? No, not even once. And that's a big, it's a big one for other psychics.
and wouldn't you say that that's because when we do cross over to the other side and we're vibrating at that higher frequency, a lot of what we experience in, this dense human form goes,
the
such
dualities are gone.
such as the ego.
Yes.
So you have explained many times, I've seen you in action, at shows, and it's like they're, all worried that, the dead mom or the dead sister is still angry at them, or they're still carrying resentment over something.
But those things are gone.
Those
They
things are
are.
gone
What if-
because there's no more ego.
What if you're Ted Bundy?
So there's a little bit of process over there. And I used to think it's probably like The Outsiders, right? You got a lineup of people there with baseball bats and you're like, yeah, hey, about that thing. But there's not those awkward moments. Here's what I
The
understand.
big reckoning.
Right.
The spirit energy has to work through analogy. They give us stories all the time. And I'm like the analogy queen with this because they say, here's how this looks. When they move to the other side, think of a baby being born or suddenly realizing they're moving down a birth canal. Hey, they don't realize, oh, I'm a little baby in a birth canal. They're just moving with this momentum. There's light, there's warmth, there's energy ahead of them. And they move into this next moving phase. So when spirit arrives on the other side, it's like, you'll love this analogy. Life is like a play. Actors come in with a purpose and a script, and not that everything's predetermined, but there's a basic outline.
Yeah.
So we
It's
might
loosely
want to
scripted.
do it is.
I get that.
It loosely scripted, and we might want to do a long role. If we want to grow in something, we might choose to be a villain this time around. It might be a short role. Look at Mystic River. The whole story was about someone who wasn't even in really the movie.
Right.
So there's these roles that we take, and when someone steps off stage, you would never see an actor get off stage and be like, now I need therapy. I just went down in a plane. There's
Right.
this interesting objectivity that they show me they experience when they get there. They're looking back in the play. They know if they got murdered, we're here. We want someone to go to prison. We have concepts of closure. We have judgments of death. But that actor off stage is looking and saying, okay, I stepped out of that precisely at the right time.
Now I got to go audition for another role because
Yes, you
it kind of
do.
sucks not to work.
It sucks not to work.
You want to
So
work.
You wanna-
what- you want to work. So anyway,
Girl, you better
somebody
work.
like Ted Bundy, here's what I believe or what they've shown me is that they don't kind of get off scot-free. They get over there and imagine being handed a book of your life. Once
Yeah.
you're in that settled objective space, imagine being handled that book of your life and every page is a day and you move through it and you have to feel everything that you created.
Yeah. And you're doing it all without your ego.
How do you?
You
So
are.
now it's
Why do you have to feel it? How do they
Because
feel
it's
it?
a balancing. It's a balancing of energy, and you've noticed that it's just like Earth once
Yeah.
again. So when we do something here, right? Like if we harm another person, whether it's through ignorance or intention, or one of the things that often happens is that we do either move into some karmic circumstance where we're on the receiving end of that, or in life there's just
What
consequences.
goes around comes around.
There is, and
but
that's
not
just-
always.
not
Sometimes you don't
always.
live long enough.
Sometimes you don't.
I
You know?
can't really buy into the concept that when we cross over, we get judged and punished for anything.
No, I've
No,
never
I
felt
don't.
that.
Well, I don't.
You just don't want it. You're like, I
I'm
need
just-
a break from this.
Yeah,
at
like
some point.
I'm just going through this life just hoping to hell.
Yeah.
There is no judgment on the other side.
well put.
Right.
No, we're not going to burn in hell. But if
Warm temperatures, fun people.
that's true.
Yeah.
I do like
You
the
like the
heat.
beach?
Yeah.
Probably lots of
anyway,
tequila.
we'll see. Yeah.
Are those of us who haven't seen any evidence of spirit on the other side, or at the end of your bed at 4 a.m? For anyone who hasn't experienced that, I haven't, that I know of. Well, that's the point, right? I haven't
Exactly.
seen it. Are we missing out? Am I missing out on something in this experience of life that you are having, where you're like, I'm on so many channels?
So because I have that, because I will, after someone I love a few months after, like have them show up and tell me that they're okay and it's profound and beautiful and healing. Yeah, I might look at someone who isn't experiencing that and think that they're missing out. But just like someone who climbs mountains might look at me and think I'm missing out. Right?
Right.
Like it. So I believe that it contributes to a beautiful quality of life, and I'm happy, and I've learned not to really care whether other people believe or not. But that doesn't mean I feel on a mission to go out there and because you can't anyway.
No, but have you ever worked with anyone in your teachings where you're like, they're one of the shouldn't effing try?
Oh, for sure.
Don't sing. Don't sing.
Yeah. Have you
don't
ever?
sing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation like that and thought, I don't even want to teach them this?
Yeah, there's been times, and it's not always explainable or identifiable in terms of why. There's just times that maybe it's just my intuition knowing that they might try to misuse it. But even that we can't attach to what other people do
Right.
with things. Not too many people who have zero hope for this end up around me. Right? They're usually going kind of in the other direction. But have I met New Age and self-help teachers that I wanted to get into a boxing ring with? 100%.
All right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm down with
I've
that.
seen it
Tell
all.
us about
I'd like
that.
to see it.
Tell us about that, Kelly Elson. Like,
Tell us about that.
what can annoy you? What can drive you nuts about
There's a few things. There's a few
these
things that I
self-helpers?
find, like I've had people get in front of me and end up like people who were at, say, a meditation group or
Yeah.
these places where New Age, self-help, spirituality is a very wonderful and ripe place for people to go who are searching for their own identity and power.
Okay.
And it's also a very easy place when you get into a meditation circle and everybody's like practically, on ayahuasca or mushroom, like they're not. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is when you get involved in energy, it's very easy for us to form. Like I've seen the ones who do the medical diagnostics, right? Oh, I see in your energy, you've got blue triangles around your throat chakra. You need this
Okay.
supplement. You need this.
All right. This is an abuse of power in a way, isn't it?
It is.
Like kind of
It is.
culty.
Oh my goodness! Like I've gone undercover to go and there was a teacher who was telling people that if they didn't protect themselves before doing a Reiki, they'd get cancer.
Oh, see,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's
I straightened.
crossing the line.
I straightened
That's not
that.
cool.
Hunt that bugger down.
That's not cool.
So when you have
Wow.
someone but you see, it's like, this is my knowledge. I have this esoteric knowledge. I can see that your chakras are closed. And there's another pet peeve. I won't let my students use the word closed, anything. When somebody's starting to look for their spirituality, we're not here to diagnose what's wrong with people. We're here to just simply look and say, here's a gift, here's a gift. This may be an area where you're not moving forward because you might believe this about yourself, but it's the wholeness of everything. Psychotherapy is there for a reason, and there's a part of us that needs those conventional spaces and positive discernment and understanding that apple cider vinegar may not get rid of your cancer.
Yeah, and you use that word, and that's what it's still important to be very discerning about what you're going to align with in terms of, personal growth, self-improvement, self-help.
Yes.
Like, it is, you still have to like rationally think about this. Does
You
it make
do.
sense? Is this perhaps dangerous?
It
Should I maybe, seek a second opinion
Yes.
rather than just, signing up because
Oh,
you
yes.
really think they're wonderful and,
Oh.
and
the
they've got all
worst-
the answers.
Yeah, no, the worst is the person who's constantly on the, like, you're like, oh, I got a tickle in my throat. And someone's like, what's stuck in your chakras? I'm like, it's a virus, Karen.
Yeah. Oh, Karen.
Oh, Karen.
That damn Karen.
Oh, the poor
Kelly,
Karens.
what was your journey in terms of self-care, self-improvement over the years?
Over the years.
Yeah.
So I didn't have what one would call like a normal entrance into the earth or first few years. So by 17, and my very first self-help book was called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. And I'm sure that sucker's still floating around somewhere. And it was these basics.
Good advice.
That was pre-Louise Hay. And these were just the basics of our left brain is basically a computer hard drive. And this understanding that we take in a program about life and reality, we create these templates like the little doozers on Fraggle Rock, just build in those structures.
I remember the doozers.
Build in
Do you remember
the-
Fraggle Rock?
I married a
Yeah,
doozer.
I was on Hanging In, and that was
I
the
remember
set right
Hanging
next
In.
door way back then.
Come on.
Yeah.
You
I
saw
the
the doozers.
little Fraggles
She's
after
full
dark.
of surprises after last night, too, and the whole Christmas story thing.
Yeah, you were in a Christmas Story.
You're holding out on us.
Guys, come
Wow,
on,
you're
let's-
a pretty big deal,
We don't
Miss
even know.
Vanson.
We don't even know.
Like
Anyway, so more on that left brain.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna move our focus back.
So in terms of that, right? Now you had mentioned before, you are what we would call agnostic if we're looking for labels. You had mentioned something about, I know there's maybe something. I'm agnostic.
Oh, I consider all of it.
I'm agnostic.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is something. We're not ever going to define it kind of fully here.
I mean, if it were possible,
Yeah.
that, I think I've said before, if the mothership landed right now, I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh,
Okay.
well,
New
there you
reality.
go.
Let's talk.
I hope
New
they
reality.
like us.
Yeah.
And if like Jesus, the real Jesus,
Yeah.
walked in, the real Jesus though, right?
The black one.
Yeah. Then I'd be like, oh, I kind of let that go a long time ago.
Yeah.
I hope all the same rules,
Well,
apply,
they-
and that I can, go say a few Hail Marys and off we'll
I'm
go.
pretty sure if he's the dude everybody says he was, he'd be like, chill, Vanson.
That's
Yeah.
right. Exactly. And,
and
you do a magic
here's
trick.
where your wallet is.
And a magic trick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
If I'm
Vanson, you gotta love
so,
yourself.
so I think that's what I'm, where I sit is like, look, anything is possible. And if I
it shows
see
up,
it,
yeah.
then great. I don't feel like I'm closed-minded to the point where it's like, I have to absolutely feel or see something,
Yeah,
I should
no,
say.
I don't- yeah.
Because
That's
my
cynicism.
imagination is broad also, and I can, move into certain things. It's just, I'm against the absolutes
Yeah.
when we don't know the answers. I mean,
Right.
even with atheists, I'm like, well, that believing in nothing is still something.
That's right.
So just be careful, right?
Yeah.
Like what your approach is.
Like we are all making this up.
We are, yeah.
Always be curious.
We're
That's
manifesting.
where I sit.
I think that's important. That's a good motto.
Anything that
mantra.
anything that's written, anything like that we can ever possibly experience has been made by us. Everything.
That's fair.
I mean, I know there are mysteries, and we say, "Well, I wonder how that got there," and stuff like that. Okay, fine, sure. Let's keep trying to figure it out. But we've made it all. We've written it all down, and we've created the
We've done
pictures
that.
and the music and like
We
everything
have.
to
And this
get
is-
some understanding of ourselves.
Yeah, and this is what I have in common with science and why I love science so much, because it never stops looking for what it doesn't know yet.
Yes, absolutely.
It never stops looking for what it doesn't know yet. So with myself too, it's more of, hey, we've got this astral projection, right? How does this work? How can we visualize this? How can I send my energy somewhere to help someone with something or see something? How can I remote view to find a dead body? Just the usual stuff. But that I would say my path, it was about not buying into everything that everybody was trying to show me. I don't really know about other psychics. I don't read books by other psychics. I'm not anti. I just didn't want everything to be formed by how someone else said that it worked.
Right, which
And
is very much the self-help movement.
And the stuff that I saw, I didn't resonate with it anyway. Like, you have to shut it down at night or it keeps you awake all night. Well, I'm sorry if that's how it's working for you. You're not doing it right.
Right.
Because this natural energy is balancing, keeping the earth on the axis.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
That's what's doing this. So I've never feared it.
Have you ever have you ever sort of looked into self-care, self-help, that sort of thing? Is there anything that you've done beyond the psychic work?
Oh yeah, tons of it. So I do a lot of work in that respect. So I've been teaching Reiki for about 15 years. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist for about 15 years. So I took that and created some quantum healing work.
Okay.
I do have something to say, and I've been chomping at the bit about the secret and the law of attraction.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, tell us
Is
about.
that sort of like where you started?
does it
After
feel?
that first book, were you like,
Well,
I need
that's
to
when
know
I
more?
realized that I seemed to have the need to critique everything that
Yeah.
everybody else was doing out there, because the secret's only half the secret. They kept a part of it secret from you.
Okay, so
How
for the
ironic.
listeners at home, let's define what
Yes.
you mean when you say the secret and what the first half of the secret is. Let's do that. Let's not
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
assumptions that way.
So years ago it came out. It was a book, and then it was made into a movie called The Secret, and it was
Yeah.
about the law of attraction. There's a basis in it. When we're moving and working within the future quantum field, we're manifesting stuff all the time. Simple as deciding, I'm going to get up and make a sandwich. We've started to move that into the quantum field, and we've made a sandwich the most likely mathematically predictable next thing we're going to eat. So we've got these, imagine your future, Kel, is like slides, film reel all out in front of you. And as soon as you're like, sandwich, it's like that picture comes forward a little bit. So we're manifesting and forming within this quantum field kind of all the time.
Yeah.
So the law of attraction states that we have to choose something that we want and clearly define it. And do you remember the vision board revolution?
Absolutely.
Like there were vision boards everywhere. And after a couple years and everybody was like, this shit's the bomb. Then I started having clients say, well, none of it's working. How come?
so
all
cutting
I've
out-
mani-
You can't just slap
Magazine-
some glue and stuff
well, all
on the
they
back of a
manifested
magazine article.
was vision boards.
Right.
It's like, so
Look at all my photos of the
here's-
beaches.
So then we start to look at this dynamic of understanding duality, that everything has an opposite energy. So let's look at that law of attraction. You're walking along. You're destined to bump into one person out of the next 100. So that law of attraction is the energetic law that's going to bump you into that person. However, the law of deflection, which is the opposite law, is the law that's keeping those other 99 people at bay. I would even go so far as to state it's the law that's keeping an asteroid from hitting the Earth right now. Every time we've gone in a car and have not had an
I think
accident.
we're due for an asteroid again.
I think we are. We were asking for it.
Yeah.
So we have this law of deflection, actually, that is simultaneously. We have to. We can't believe there's yin and yang and day and night and good and evil and all of these
Yeah,
polarities.
you make a valid point there.
And realize
Yep.
suddenly that this law of attraction does
Doesn't-
not have an opposite law.
Right.
So why do
So-
bad things happen to good people?
Yeah, that's true. Like,
Well, so what I'm going to do
Yeah.
is finish this part.
Okay.
Because those are judgments of good and bad, and the universe is an objective place.
Bam.
Oh.
So when
If
we
she could drop her mic right now,
I
she
can't.
would.
It's a very
yeah, you're wired up. You're wired
I know,
up.
but if a
So
child,
when
if
so
something
when we
yeah,
have
okay.
a vision board and we're like, okay, because here's what mine would be: pool boy, maybe a pink Volkswagen, maybe a lifetime supply of hunter boots, whatever my shallow things are, right? You get that up there and they're like, yes, that's what's going to manifest. And all of a sudden you got a blue Volkswagen in your laneway, you don't even see it. So what we do when we focus too much on that law of attraction is we limit the ability of the creative universe to think higher than we are.
Right.
We limit it to, I need that. Maybe it's going to be 3 pool boys.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you ever
I
think of
agree.
that?
I think it's important to stay open
Yes.
to now what really takes form and shape
So
with your intention.
all we
right?
need to know is what we don't want. And then right away I tell people that and they're
Right.
like, but then you're focusing on it. I'm like, no, I'm not. We're not focusing on it. Here's what I know. I don't have a type when it comes to dating, but I know what I don't want. And it includes somebody who needs me to pay their bills or trim their mullet, right? It's like,
The mullet's coming back, by the way.
I know I'm going to
So
just, there's the end
That's
of the world.
going to
right
really
there.
limit your prospects.
That's apocalyptic news. So what I'm saying is,
That's interesting,
is
though.
that
Yeah.
we just know, most of us don't know on any given day everything. We said that today. I said, I might not know what I'm going to do today, but I know I won't be robbing a bank.
Yeah.
What, guys?
So most of us
Huh.
can define.
Did it come up? Was it a consideration? Were you guys
Well, yeah,
onto something?
we were making plans.
You want to
and then-
share?
And
Little
then
bit?
I suggested we rob
I
a
might want
bank.
in.
And then Kelly's like, oh no, I'm not into that.
Not
I did
today.
I did not bring
Not
my
today.
mask this
Today.
Yeah, so I was
weekend.
like, okay, fine. That's what we're not doing today.
Okay,
well, what
got it.
will we do then?
Yeah.
There's so many other possibilities.
She's good. She's good for me.
Yeah.
Moral compass.
Yeah.
In
So those things,
home.
you did ask a very positive question and a very important one. My first radio show, my first call, was a man from Michigan whose baby grandchild had drowned in a bathtub when being cared for by a babysitter. So those things come up. It's like, start me out easy here. Back to that actor analogy. And I would never say to any parent here or anyone who has tragically lost another human being, okay, I'll part of their contract. Never. But I will explain that actor analogy. That the soul actually comes in. I call it the bucket list of the soul. The soul comes in with a bucket list. That doesn't say, like going to university, it doesn't say, oh, I just have to get all things that are pleasant. The soul comes in saying, I need to get what it is that I need to get. And all of these people around me are here for learning and growth too. So we talked about energy like spirits not being evil. I think of the tornado that went through Goderich, where I live.
Yeah.
It caused some destruction and then renewal. But it did not have the capacity out over that water to be thinking, man, am I PMSing today? I'm ripping up a town. Like I'm in a bad mood. Energy just can't. So the universe doesn't see that as bad anymore than, a lion eating a zebra. It's not a good day for the zebra. But the universe isn't looking down on that and saying, oh, that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
Just,
So anything that does happen, the universe might be looking down and saying, but that's just what's supposed to
the
happen.
universe, well, and that maybe the universe may not even have the supposed to, but just that understanding of that it is part of the story, and it doesn't judge us. Like suicides, they're the happiest people on the other side because they're the only ones that wanted to go. When we think about that logic, but let's go back with religion and even a lot of New Agers like myself, it's like, broke a contract there. Never seen that. I've never seen them come through tortured or sad or in regret.
If it's one thing you have taught me over the years is that death is hardest on the living.
It's
yeah,
their
for sure.
affair.
Yeah, like the soul afterwards.
Suffering is hard when you're suffering.
Yeah,
but death itself, like once that's done, that's done.
Yeah,
it's
and
everybody else that's grieving.
It's our deal.
And
For sure,
and,
yeah.
And once we do achieve, spirit when we cross over, there is no, oh my God, I can't believe I just went.
I can't
Damn
believe.
it.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was in the middle of a good movie. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no suffering on the other side.
It's a paradigm. Death is a paradigm shift for sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you think dead people want us to know about how things are on the other side? Like
that they have a sense of humor. They're not all heavy and
Are some funnier than others?
Some are funnier than others.
just like here on Earth.
Absolutely. It's actually, when you say that, you have no idea how much it is like Earth. So someone will come in for a reading and they'll be looking for a logical, like, okay, Grandma Helen's going to walk up. And I'm like, no, real time. So when we're on Earth in real time, we're walking into a family reunion, we have logic. We're going to look for Chatty and Paul's table, right?
Chatty and Paul are your
being my mother.
Susan's
Call my mother
like
Chatty.
we're gonna
It's a long
boyfriend
story.
or husband or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, they're living in sin. It's,
Yes,
it's
they're
her
living in
boyfriend.
Oh, God bless them. And
Yeah,
their
they're not
cotton
doing it. They're
socks.
not getting married.
Yeah, good on them.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there's our
yeah.
logic. We walk in, there's these real-time people everywhere moving. We're looking for Kathy and Paul. And who comes up first? Like anyone. Third cousin you haven't seen in 5 years. Photobombers happen in readings all
that's
the
funny.
time.
That's a good
Photobombers.
analogy.
Photobombers happen. So that's when someone comes in and they're waiting to see Grandma, and up walks the dude that they, sat beside in high school who passed away. And they're like, this isn't what I expected. And I'm like, guess what, sunshine? It's not about us all the time. Spirits come for healing too. They come to make contact.
Because when you say that when we cross over and we enter spirit form, it is like now we're back plugged into love, right?
We are, yeah.
Like
It's automatic.
now we all just feel love towards those we left behind.
That's right.
So there is no
and
no
they
resentment or
just move too, like
judgment about what's happening
Not really.
Down on earth.
Once in a while they
back
look
at the
down
ranch.
and everybody's fighting over the money or whatever and they shake their head, but it's not any skin off them, pardon the pun.
If I
Right.
wanted, like, if I thought, oh, geez, I'd really like to be able to have a conversation with somebody on my own, learn how to do it. So if I came to you, what would be the first thing you would say to me?
One of the first things that we would do is do a bunch of actual deprogramming about what it looks like. The main thing keeping most people from understanding their connection with it is the concepts that it's this enigmatic thing that, you know, only special people have. And let's look at our top, you know, our most famous psychic out there. The first 2 lines of the opening of her show is, hello, I'm Teresa Caputo, and I have a very special gift. And right there, that would not be allowed if it was my show, because it's like right there is saying, I have something that's unattainable for you. So I'm kind of an expert at looking people and removing some of those paradigms that are like, and showing them where they're already doing it.
And how long would that take, going through that deprogramming?
With you or with a normal person?
Oh, let's go
You said it. You said it, Kelly Elson.
Come on.
That's
we're
why
here.
I love you.
We're in studio.
So I can, like, I have a day-long workshop with people, but it's not, you know, they don't leave there knowing it all. Like, it's a lot of downloading.
You think it would take longer for me?
I think that the way your brain works and the way you process is that you don't go into anything less than 100%. So you'd be like, I need to take this, process it, think about it, see if it's going to show up around me.
Yeah.
So you'd be the person that would do better if I had a 6-week course and we did an hour a week.
A
Oh,
6-week
yes, I see. Yeah.
intensive.
No, she's right. Like
Yeah.
a little bit all the time. So I'm
Sure.
on it, but I'm having my own time to
Yeah.
investigate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my mother, Chatty, studied with you,
did,
the
so.
intuitive process. And she talks about how, you know, you helped her kind of quiet down the left hemisphere of her brain.
Yes.
All the judgment, all the, you know, all the paradigms
Yeah.
that make that, you know, so busy, the you know, the chatter, and move into then more the intuitive right side of
Yes.
the brain. Is that a good summary of
It
the
is
process?
actually, yeah, it's a very good summary. Our ego is our friend. It loves us. We just have to remember
Yeah,
that
let's-
it's 10. It's 10.
Yeah, let's talk about
So
that
let's
ego.
let's think about a 10-year-old child. We don't ever look at a 10-year-old child and say you're wrong in everything you're doing. But imagine we say to a 10-year-old, oh, we're going to go to Disneyland in a year,
Okay.
right? They're going to worry every day. Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So think of the innocence of that child, just wanting everybody to be okay. Have that bag of Oreos. I want you to be comfortable. I want everybody to just feel love. I want to make sure we're going to have what we need. So ego is your friend, and it's our ego is our inner child. Plain and simple. We think they're both. The ego is that inner child. So how would we treat that child? We would say, you know what? I know you just have limited vision right now. We have to trust that we're going to get there. It needs some nudges along. That's all. So the
that's it.
myths about
Okay.
so the myths
Comfort
there's 2
it.
big myths about spirituality I think that are huge. And you were probably going to ask me about them, but here I go.
Oh, no. I'm just like, yeah, let's do it.
The first is the oneness of mind. This oneness that everybody is seeking, right? With religious pamphlets will come to your door and there'll be people petting lions on hilltops. Sorry, honey, you're going to get eaten. I don't care what your spiritual vibe is. That's a lion. Buddhism even.
Pretty kitty.
Pretty kitty. Give me some more ayahuasca. So we have this concept of what are people searching, even in the self-help? I just want to feel good all the time.
Yeah,
We're obsessed with that we're going to have one mind that's going to make clear decisions on everything, and everything's just going to be fun times. What we have, we're dual natured, just like the law of attraction and deflection I talked about, and that left logical side has a job. And that's to keep us fed and sheltered and to rule out real from non-real.
Certainly appreciate that.
It is important, and it needs to be there.
I didn't know I was leaving it to a 10-year-old.
Right.
That's okay.
So it has.
That's why I want to eat the bag of Oreos.
It absolutely is. Like it
And it's
just
why you're
wants
dressed the way you
comfort.
are today.
Aw,
Yeah, you do
Just
look
kidding.
kinda cute.
you guys, they can't see.
Yeah, you
Guys.
should see it, guys. You should see it now.
Um,
But yeah, that's why we're
so-
dressed.
so
That's
that-
why.
Yeah, that ego. So it does love us. It's not the enemy.
Yeah,
So
I know
this
it really does
idea
get a
of
bad.
that, it does get a bad rap. So
Oh,
the
so many people misuse ego.
They do.
You know, it's
And
like
they-
someone you might say something and they'll be like, "Oh, that's your ego," like that, and it's
Yeah.
like, what are you
It's
even
not a
talking
demon.
about?
It's
Well,
not a demon. So the oneness of mind is
doesn't
one of
cover
the
everything
biggest
is what I'm
myths.
saying.
because it implies that, and we have two sides that need to look at the whole picture. So if I want to follow my spirit and go over here and take up a little place on an island and make beaded bracelets, and that's where my heart wants to go, all sides have to look. We have to.
Why
and
is
so
that
we
the
have to-
result of dropping your ego that you want to make beaded bracelets?
I don't know why I
is
associated
that?
that. But it's that idea.
Clothing gets very flowy.
Because it's right. Flowers, all of that.
Yeah.
And it's because that left brain is practical and is supposed to do what it needs to do to provide for us. And then we have that side that's like, but your heart and your spirit kind of wants this. And we have to use both. We can't just give away everything we own and go do that. So we don't want
you
those
can.
two
You
sides
can do
of
whatever
our
you
brain
want, but
thinking
like
this-
that's not your answer to
we don't want our
the
brain
universe.
to think the same. We don't want it to have one view of everything because there's no internal dialogue. There's no but people see it as conflict, and it's not. It's a marriage.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking I'm just going to be of this one space and have this one mind and this one sense of clarity, understand that we have a yin and a yang in there, and they're both looking at different parts of reality. And that the key to the spiritual joy, I think, is honoring them both. Letting them both have their say. Like you guys, you throw your stuff in the middle and something great comes out of it, but you're hardly alike.
Yeah, that's true. We're
So
Yeah.
that's it. The other big myth is
No.
the stillness.
What
of
am I?
mind.
Am I the ego? You're- like, let's just settle this right now.
I'm out of there. I'm not.
I
gonna-
am
Yep,
not
that's right. Let's not
commenting.
go there. Let's not discuss this on air.
The other biggest myth to spiritual wellness and balance is the stillness of mind. So let's say I take you and you want to learn something about yourself, and I'm going to take you into a meditation where you're going to be still in a white room for an hour.
Yeah.
And I would ask, what the fuck are you going to find there? Nothing. There's nothing there to find. It's like, oh, I'm in a white room. Yay, me. Everything that I do with people, it's adventure. I take them into a hypnosis. I take them into a past life regression. I'm not putting the details in, but it's journeying. And I call it all journeying. We are not Buddhist monks. We don't know where we're Westerners, for crying out loud.
That's what I always used to say.
need to
Like
see
years
stuff.
and years ago in my 20s, everybody
good
was like
point.
talking about all this stuff before any self-help that I was really aware of. And I was just like, I'm not Buddha.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be Buddha.
We're not supposed to be.
So like I'm doing all right.
Yes.
Like I'm
Yeah.
pretty good over here.
Yeah. So the stillness, that ability to go quiet and strong, they relate that with spiritual strength and powers.
Right.
But I would say I don't do that. I go running. I'll drive uptown and forget why I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm not Miss Peace, Love, and Om all the time.
Do you suffer, Cal? Do you still suffer?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So what do you do in
Tell
times when
us
you're suffering?
how you're a hot mess.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please tell me.
well,
Tell Kelly that you are still a
Absolutely.
hot mess.
Oh my God.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's one of
'Cause
the
you are very
things
wise.
that I'm very open about, is that we can very well know something conceptually and not know how to experience it yet. But what helps me to get out of the hot mess is to accept that I'm supposed to be sometimes, not to positivity shame, spiritual shame. Oh, Kelly, you should know better than this because you're spiritual. No, honestly, if you cut me off in traffic, I'm going to call you a dick in my car. But
I think it's nice that you choose Dick.
I do.
I think that is still
She might
something.
have chosen that just in this
And
moment.
sorry for
but
well,
that
sorry
may
for
maybe
anybody
not
out
be
there
the
named
only
Dick.
choice word there.
Might be editing a bit.
But what I'm saying,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that there's this concept that with spiritual people are always happy, and there's the myth busted right there. And when we so spirituality and psychic stuff, we want to feel more, but just the fun stuff, no.
Well, we're still emotional beings, even if we're spiritual.
We're more emotional
We're human.
because we're feeling.
And I think that that's right along with, what we talk about all the time in terms
Yeah.
of self-help. It's
Yeah.
like it's stressing people out
It
because you're
is.
not going to achieve that thing, right? You can't
are they
read
looking
all
for?
the self-help books, or I call
Yeah.
them memoirs. You can do the work, but you do have to do something. You got to live your life, and you're going to have ups and downs.
Yeah.
And when you're down, you can't be beating yourself up because the books didn't work.
exactly, or The Secret, or The Vision
It's just
Force.
life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. And what that comes back to is
Sing
the
it.
pursuit of I'm just going to feel good and happy all the time. And when things aren't feeling good and happy, there must be something wrong. And that's
Right.
judgment.
Well, and we used
that
to
comes
also
from
be
the
able to go
ego.
to friends and, and people still do, obviously, but I think that there must be some trepidation now to like go to friends or call somebody and say, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling great today.
Try saying I'm hearing voices.
Or that, but I think like it's almost come to the point where we're judging each other for not being happy or positive. And it's like, that's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Or we're
because how
thinking
we
they're
get
judging
through
us.
these things
Yeah.
is by talking to friends and going, oh, okay, I feel much better. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we want to just be able to, like just be validated. Like we want to hear from people to go, God, that sucks, eh?
Yeah.
You must be in
Yeah.
so much pain.
Yeah.
And we,
not be
and we
fixed.
learn from
What do you need?
we learn from the
you need-
suffering. You
Yeah.
learn so much.
It's valuable. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where we dig to get the tools.
yeah, like don't get stuck in it, but by all means, like feel
Yeah.
your stuff.
I have learned over the years that it is best to like just kind of like validate people rather than going, here's the mantra to
But
hang
it's
on
okay.
to. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
not good to start off with that. You might
Hold
want to
space.
introduce that in a few weeks maybe, but right
Like
off the
little-
bat,
little
nobody
quotes and stuff like
nobody wants your little soundbite from the self-help world
No.
when they're down.
that. That's
Yeah.
true. But you know what they do want right now?
What do they want? I think I know. It is that game.
It's time.
That's sweeping the
the
nation.
nation.
Well, yes, this is the time where we read 3 self-help quotes to each other and the other person tries to identify what self-help guru said it. The game is called Name That Guru. I did a
All
little
right.
different today,
You
didn't I?
did. You
Yeah,
did.
okay.
Here we
that
go.
wasn't planned.
So Kel, you're going to join in.
Yep.
Okay.
If you can identify any of the quotes by author, then please, by all means, jump
Okay.
right in.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
do my best.
I've gone a spiritual route today, by the way.
Oh,
Just saying.
go figure.
That's the theme.
Everything in line with theme.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like a nice theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
do it.
the
Let's go
only-
for theme.
Yeah, that's what my theme is. Do you have a theme?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think I do. I might.
Searching for a theme right now. What is
Yeah.
the common denominator?
You go first.
Okay. Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. How do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you are having at the moment. So spiritual.
Fred Rogers.
No, that would be something I
It's a good
would
guess.
do.
It is- yeah. You've been hanging out with Fanson. That's fine. Okay, no, I've got to say that this is like one of the most spiritual.
Deepak?
Like it's up
in
there.
that?
It's up there. Very famous. Oprah loves them. They did that whole online course a few years ago.
Ram
I s-
Dass?
No. He kind of looks like a Keebler elf.
Oh, Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle.
Oh, nailed it.
Yeah, you did. I mean, yeah, we were gonna get there.
We were going to get there.
I like to give hints.
Yes. There'd be no way I would get them any.
But you know what? That only took you 3 hints. That's pretty good.
That's true.
That's
And I
pretty
was
good.
in the realm right away.
Realm. You were realming.
Yes. So I'm quite proud of myself. I'm getting better, even though I still haven't read the books.
And probably
It's
better for
working.
it. Because I'm still a hot mess. All right.
Okay. I feel like this is really appropriate for some of the stuff we've been talking about today.
All right.
Don't try to steer the river.
Like it. I like it. It's
a good one, huh?
I mean, that is very Dr. Wayne Dyer. Don't try to steer the river. I know we gotta trust.
Trust.
Surrender.
I'm just trying to.
Don't
What is
try
it?
to steer
Jesus
the
take the
river.
wheel.
Jesus.
Jesus take the wheel.
Did you? Yeah.
Haven't you heard that mantra before?
I'm
Jesus
just-
take the wheel?
I have, but I'm thinking of a meme that I saw.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Where the
I
wheels
mean, my
fly
guess
off.
is Wayne Dyer.
no.
Who else
Is it
talks
a
a lot about
female?
surrender?
Okay, do you
It's
want a
very,
hint?
yeah.
I already said his name.
Deepak.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is very Deepak.
That is
Yeah.
Deepak.
I love it. All right.
Short and sweet.
Everything in the universe has a purpose. Indeed, the invisible intelligence that flows through everything in a purposeful fashion is also flowing through you.
I have my period right now.
Christian.
Wow. That's oversharing, Fanson. but funny. Like funny. Like
Maybe that's the brain fog and the wallet.
there's the child
Yeah.
living in your
There
head.
she is. She
There
just
she is.
Wow.
up.
Wow.
wow.
Okay. So this guy he has been kind of labeled as kind of like the forefather, the grandfather of self-help.
Okay.
He was in our episode about the history of self-help as like kind of being like one that came in the 70s. Your erroneous zones.
Oh, wait. Dyer.
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay.
Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Dr. Wayne Dyer. That's his. That was a long one.
I was ready
Was
to
it?
go Carl Jung. I was somewhere else.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right, Vanson.
Okay, I'll go. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious, the fundamental emotion which stands at the cradle of true art and true science.
I think you've gone with the theme too
I'm
today.
pretty sure
I
that's
kinda
Bill
have.
Nye the Science Guy.
Oh, I wish. I love him, and it's not.
Aha. Huh. Have you
Anyone?
done a whole Deepak
Anyone?
Chopra thing
Anyone?
today?
She always thinks I'm like.
Sometimes you do
messing
that,
with
though.
it. Not, I can't tell you.
Because he's very
Do you like the quote?
scientific.
Do you like the quote?
It's a bit out there.
Is it? That's out there. Oh,
It's not Brian Cox.
nope. Is that it?
Um,
Moving on. Should I tell you?
Is there any hint that will really be a
Real,
bing, bang, bang?
real smart guy.
Stephen Hawking.
Nope.
That's a very
I'll
smart
give you
guy.
one more.
Really smart.
Real smart.
Re-
Real smart.
oh, Einstein.
Yes.
Albert Einstein. All right. Okay. Your eyes got real big there.
How am I even not realizing I
you wanted me to
suggested
do an
that?
Albert
Yeah.
Einstein quote.
Yeah, that's just one I don't know.
Did you tell her to do that?
No,
I think we talked about that last night.
we did.
when
but,
we were
I
talking
there?
about Name That Guru.
Was I there?
Yes, you were.
Okay, so maybe subliminally
Just a lot of.
that happened.
but yeah, Einstein is a super spiritual scientific dude. If
Yeah.
anybody wants
yeah.
to.
That's
I
interesting.
think he's
He used to
fantastic.
visit people like me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, okay. Here we go.
Can he still?
I've never asked for him, but I imagine I could get him on the radar.
I'll bet you could.
Yeah.
Put a call in.
Maybe we should do a little
They do
ring,
get
ring.
they do get notifications.
Einstein home?
when we talk about them?
Notifications.
They
yeah.
do. It's like so and so mentioned you in a comment.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
That's so
psychic
funny.
Siri.
That's hilarious.
It's like when you're on Instagram and you get very excited that there's like that little message.
Yeah.
Like there's a number and then the little like
Yeah,
you're like, oh my God, somebody commented.
somebody.
Holy shit.
somebody cares.
Yeah, somebody's engaged in my social media.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Last one. If you require proof of the unseen, it will remain unseen. Someday you will be unseen. Start believing in yourself.
Wow, I feel like that was for me.
That's wild.
This is a very funny quote.
I like that. That's a good
If
one.
you require proof of the unseen,
Yeah.
it will remain unseen. Someday you will be unseen. Start believing in yourself. It's very funny. It's wise and yet so
I
funny.
like it.
Who do you know that is wise and very funny?
Brene.
Yeah, Brené's quite funny. But who else do you know? Who's
Kelly
wise?
Elson.
Yeah,
Kelly
you got
Elson.
it. It's a Kelly Elson quote.
Oh, that's really good. Okay. That's
why you felt it.
That's why I was like, that was.
You got it a
there's
little. You got
something
that one
there.
in the feels.
Yeah.
That and I gave her side eye.
I do want to
Yeah.
say. I do want to say.
Did we do your three?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll do
sorry.
that first.
Okay. Sorry, I just thought I lost it there for a second. Well,
You lost
Yeah.
the plot. It's not like you lost your wallet and your glasses, guys. Can we work on this?
Mercury
Yeah.
retrograde.
Yeah.
oh, it is Mercury
Yeah.
retrograde, right?
Stroke. Yes. The next message you need is always right where you are.
Your quotes are all spiritual.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that Eckhart too?
No.
I mean, it's
Not
very
all.
Eckhart.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
Is it-
realm.
Guy?
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Well, that's very Wayne Dyer.
Nope. Might be very,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah. Gary Zukav?
No.
No.
So fewer syllables.
That's not a lot of syllables.
Yeah. If it was charades, it'd
Oh,
be like
this is
two
gonna-
syllables. 2 syllables.
Yeah.
On my arm.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
Oprah.
No. Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell you. Ram Dass.
Cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
So here's the thing. Just based on what we were talking about, if you can't see it, if you don't believe in it, you won't see it. So both of my parents have passed away, and they both at some point, we had conversations. We talked very openly about a lot of things, and they had both said, if there's any way, I will show you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they both said that. I'll knock something, whatever. Now, I haven't seen it. I'm not saying that maybe they haven't been messing with stuff, and maybe that's where my wallet and my glasses are right now. But like, I'm open. You know what I mean? It's not like I was like, I don't believe it. It's just, and I'm still, and it's not like I'm upset about it. So I'm like, I'm not going to believe it. Like none of that's going on. I'm just saying I haven't
You haven't
seen
had the
it.
experience yet.
Like and they've been gone for a long time. So I just, they were like, if we can do it, we'll find a way.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you
And
need
then-
to sit beside Kelly Elson on an airplane
The
next
que-
time.
Yeah.
You sit beside her and you
Right.
might get a reading.
Do you remember that?
Free stuff.
So let's tell our listeners that story.
Oh yeah, we were flying from
I believe we were over Spain at the time.
we
Yeah.
were headed to Portugal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you turned to me and said, "Oh, Irene has shown up." And that's my grandma.
So for clarity, we're on the plane.
Yeah.
We mostly had the back of the plane to ourselves. There weren't
We
a lot of
did.
people
It was
there.
an odd
That's
flight.
true. Yeah.
It was really odd. And so we're all, busy doing our own things. And then, so Kelly says to you, what did she say?
It's like, Irene's here. Irene has shown up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I remember turning around and you saying, I see dead people.
Right.
Something along those lines. That's what I heard.
Ghosts on a plane.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, like us.
Yeah.
And you were like, it's not us. It's
Not us. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There was a veil thing there. It was like the friggin' Langoliers. It was just because
It was
Susan knowing
wild.
me for this long, it just doesn't happen in social where I'm just
No.
like, there's your grandma. I
Yeah.
haven't seen anyone around you since we became friends.
Yeah. So weird.
Because my
So
friends have
weird.
to go elsewhere, right? To get an objective.
Yep.
Anyway, that
Yeah.
was good fun. And
There we were.
Yeah.
30,000 feet.
Yeah.
Getting a reading.
Just hanging out with a bunch of dead people.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, guys.
That's what you get when you hang with a psychic medium. Kelly Elson, thank you so much for coming
very
today.
It was so
Hanging
great. Is there
out with us.
anything left for you that
Yeah.
you felt you
Do you have
needed to
any
say?
Parting messages for
The parting messages for anyone out there is just not to be afraid. And if something feels like BS from a psychic, from an energy healer, if it feels like BS, it is for you. You get the right to decide what feels right. And if you leave any kind of an energy intuitive or a psychic or a healer or even a life coach of any kind, and you feel heavier or you feel something, you can feel it. It's like magnets. Just like trust yourself. You're valid.
tap into your
You're
intuition?
here.
And yep.
Trust yourself.
Trust yourself, and people just make sure, right? If people are trying to tell you you're broken, this chakra's closed, that's off, this is off, that's off. Don't take that to heart. It's themselves they're looking to define.
Nice.
And they're
I
running
like
a
it.
business.
Yeah, and they're
yeah.
running-
Everything's a
Exactly.
business.
Yeah.
Speaking of business, if somebody wants to reach out to you, maybe get a reading with you. I know you're based in Goderich up on Lake
Godrich, yeah.
Huron.
Yep.
But you can also do readings.
I do
online?
them remotely because not everybody can pop in from California, right?
Yeah.
But I do read people everywhere.
So how does
Yeah,
anyone
how do-
get in contact with you?
Just
with
the website. It's mediumkellyelson.com.
MediumKellyElson.com.
And it's under construction, has been for about 5
All
years.
right, because you've got a new site coming
We're
out
doing
soon.
some different stuff, yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah, but
have
they can
some-
find you on Facebook too, right?
They can find me on Facebook.
To
Yeah, Medium
direct
Kelly
message and then-
Elson. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on Instagram, you are
what am I?
Kelly on West, I think it is.
Oh,
my
that's right.
That's my personal
Oh
one.
shoot! I
Whoops.
just
No, which is okay. It's
that's
all right.
okay.
Kelly
Well, you
on
do,
West.
yeah, whatever.
It's Medium Kelly Elson.
Medium
yeah.
Kelly Elson. All right, there is
And
your
if you
Instagram.
want to see Kelly just sort of having fun and being an actor, but also being herself, playing herself, you could watch that Best Before series on YouTube.
I've heard of that one.
True.
Best Before, I think it was called Psychic Kelly or
I
something.
think it could have been. That's pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very funny episode that you did with your web series.
Yeah,
So,
that's a fun one.
They type in Best Before Show
I think it's
on
Best Before
YouTube.
dot show.
Yeah, something like that. But
Something
you got to
like
have
that. I
show
think
in
Best
there.
Before show on YouTube, you'll find it. Yeah.
And then,
That's good fun.
yeah, psychic medium. Yeah, that's a very funny episode.
That was a lot of fun, yeah.
Well, yay, that was fun.
Yeah.
Learned
Good
a lot
times.
here today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
I might be pursuing the left brain thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go see if I can get in touch with some people.
Yeah.
yeah. It'd just be good for you to
You guys
have
are
a
looking
little,
at me like,
little less
yeah,
chatter.
good luck.
Whatever's going to help here. Well, you're Kelly Fanson.
And you're Susan Stewart.
And
we're still a hot mess.
I'm little smooth and life is never rough. Nothing to prove.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Purple Jade Wellness Center, for your support. Thanks also to Monkey Junk, the Juno Award-winning blues band consisting of some of the best people and musicians we know. We'd also like to thank and give a 3-minute hug, because self-help says that's more meaningful, to the Pod Plant and Mike Wixon.
And thank you, Fanson.
And thank you, Susan.
You make a mess of me. You make a